Now let's talk about variables in Visual Basic. Variables are used to store temporary information. There are some rules regarding variable names. The names must start with the letters and can contain spaces and special characters. Can be any Excel keywords or Visual Basic keywords, and can have identical name to any existing class like worksheet or workbook. Now let's see how you declare variables. So this is a syntax for variable declaration. You declare the variable with either dim, private, or public keywords to indicate the scopes of the variables, as well as the type of the variable. Now look at this example. Here, str message is declared as a string variable, and it is a public variable. Int year is declared as an integer variable, and the scope is private. And obj cell is declared as a range variable, and it is a local variable. The default value of any numeric variable is 0. The default value of any string variable is an empty string, and the default value of an object variable is nothing. You can also use the type declaration character to declare variables. So, for example, instead of declaring str message as string, you can also write str message with the $sign at the end. Similarly, instead of declaring int year as integer, you can also write int year with the percentage sign at the end. In Visual Basic or in VBA, you don't have to declare variables before uses. By default, Visual Basic will declare the variables as variant. However, this is not recommended. You can also declare variables as variant, like what we see in this example. You declare var address as variant, or you can write just dim var address. It's the same thing. Now let's see how you assign a value to a variable. Here use the assignment operator. You assign a value to a variable. In order to assign an object to an object variable, you need to have the keyword set, and that is the difference between an object variable and others. In this example, you can see For simple data type, you just need to assign the strings, for example 28 or gym, to the variables. But with object, you have to have the set, the keyword set, in front of it, and that is the difference. Now let's talk about variable scope. The first type of scope is block scope. This scope exists in VB, in Visual Basic.NET. Variables declared within a block can be used only within that block. So for example, if you declare a variable within the do loop block, then that variable is accessed within that block only. The second scope we talked about is procedure scope, and we have this scope in both Visual Basic.NET and VBA. Variables are declared inside the procedures and can be accessed only inside the procedures, and the data is kept until the end statement of the procedures. With the module scope, this is used in Visual Basic and also VBA. Variables are declared at the top of the module, and any procedure inside the module can access the variables. The last one is the namespace scope in Visual Basic, or public scope in VBA. The variables are declared as public and can be accessed from anywhere. Okay, let's check out some examples. The first example is for the block scope, and you can only test this in Visual Basic.NET. So you can see in the if and if block, X is declared and 1 is stored in X, and later on outside the block you display the content of X. So if you run this in Visual Basic, it will give you an error, because from outside the block, X cannot be accessed. The second example is the example for procedure scope. The variable dbl mileage is declared within this procedure and cannot be accessed from other procedures. The next example is for the module scope. So those two variables are declared at the top of a module, and dim is the same as private. Any procedure within this module can access the two variables. And the last example is for the public variables. Int year is declared as integer, and it is a public variable and can be accessed from anywhere.